Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 25 of Through the Mists. It's good to see everybody. We have been off for a few weeks due to life and complications and such, but we're here, and I think we remember where we left off, yeah?
We were winning and had saved the princess,
Right?
and we're on our way across the rainbow gumdrop fields for our rewards, I believe. I think that's what was going on.
Or at least that's the stanza that you're in of the Song of Your People,
That's
I
right,
believe,
yeah.
as you're flittering around singing. Anyone have any questions before we dive in? Okay. Well then, a quick recap. Last time you ended up, you're traveling through the realm of Timor, which is a subterranean demi-plane, is kind of what you figured, that exists underneath the realm of Paridon. Sorry, I almost forgot what it was called. You were looking for. Hi, baby. Hello. You were looking for a creature. Well, you're essentially trying to meet with the Marikith Queen, the ruler of Timor, and you were looking for a creature that she is hunting in her own domain to bring it to her as essentially like a gift, some kind of way to maybe work yourself into her good graces. And so while traveling, you had ended up meeting the Caliban who live in the sewers below Paridon. They expressed that they hadn't seen anyone or any creatures that might be what the Marikith Queen is hunting, but they did send a couple of fellows with you to help you find this creature and to essentially help you parlay with the queen, since one of them kind of speaks the Marikith language, but also acts as the liaison between the Caliban and the Marikith. You had ended up getting into a fight with some of the Marikith as one of them was kind of shadowing you, and you managed to catch it. Battle ensued as I believe it was Lilith punched it in the face because it was screeching. And after defeating some of them, you had, I believe it was actually one of the fellows with you, Kalen, had brokered at least some kind of ceasefire so that the group of you could continue looking and hopefully find this creature to bring to the Marikith Queen. Continuing on, you had been ambushed by some burrowing creatures that resemble giant centipedes, and during one of those battles, or right after, you had heard a call for help, and from the burrows you had unburied, you had uncovered another fellow who said he was down here trying to find this creature as well. Rumor has definitely spread through Paridon, it seems, and this fellow says he's from Paridon and has come down here with a couple of his friends looking for the creature. His friends and he got separated, he said, and he is leading you back the way he came from in hopes of finding, one, his friends, and two, this creature that you're hunting. Does that all sound legit? Anything I missed?
That's right.
Okay.
Except that we're just fabulous and winning in every way.
Well, I mean, just the sparkles and the glitter that are like pouring off of Twiggy and like covering all of you. There's definitely a lot of fabulousness going on.
As it should be.
As it should be. So at the end of the last time, you had come to a dead end, but there was this grove of these glowing mushrooms that kind of dimly illuminate the tunnels that you're going through. And let me double check his name here because I know I'm going to forget it. Howl had said that he would leads you through. And so at the end, he comes to this dead end, looks at you, and he's like, "Oh, this way," and he just drops down and disappears into the mushrooms. All of you followed, and I believe Lyra was a little wigged out by it, but managed to make her save, and therefore when you emerge from the chute of fungi, you have a little bit more control over your transformation, your unwanted transformation, we should say, and some of the fur on your arm kind of begins to recede. For those of you watching, Lyra's eyes kind of shift back to being normal. The nubs that are kind of poking through her hair disappear. And you are in a fairly well-illuminated chamber. There are a couple groves of those mushrooms that are illuminating it, as well as some crystals growing out of the wall. The light doesn't come from the crystals, but is refracted through it, and it kind of like helps to spread the light and illuminate this chamber even more. You do notice a couple other, or one other large batch of mushrooms that are growing out of one of the glowing batches. They are like kind of a larger and green, and there's kind of a weird decaying smell to them. But you do see a set of what looks like maybe natural stairs or roughly carved stairs that lead up to another tunnel. There's a little bit of faint illumination coming from that tunnel. Kaylin and Yona kind of take a breather for a moment as they watch Howl. What do you all do?
Now, Twiggy was eating those mushrooms, right? Because I was curious if anyone was going to lick them last time.
Mm-hmm.
Twiggy, did you eat any of the glowing mushrooms?
I mean, if they're pointed out as edible or questionably edible, of course he'll be munching on things. He likes to munch on things.
Oh.
If he eats a moldy animated sandwich, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to eat some glowing fungi. It's good for digestion.
Yeah, you haven't noticed any weird effects, Twiggy and Lilith? You haven't seen anything strange happen to Twiggy? The other mushrooms are quite large comparatively. They're like a good 5 foot across, and they rise up. The tallest one is a little bit taller than Lilith, if that helps.
Wow.
And they're just this kind of sickly green color. You do notice that there's a gentle rain of spores, not like a super heavy, but you do notice some spores that kind of fall down and land on the ground around them. And in those areas, the other glowing mushrooms don't grow quite as much.
The fixer-uppers. Definitely fixer-uppers. Pretty good real estate here. We'll have to keep an earmark on this place. Got some people be interested, I think.
Okay.
3 families at least.
Dizzy, what are you up to?
I think I want to just kind of try to take in the scenery.
Okay. Do you want to do a perception check?
Yeah.
Nice. So as you're kind of looking around, you do actually notice there are some objects that are they lay underneath those mushrooms, the bigger green ones, and are mostly covered by the spores that are gently falling down. Looks like there's some random bones spread underneath them. You do remember where you came from just a few moments ago. In the tunnel above, there were a lot of bones up there from which you're guessing were the centipedes. You're not really sure if they came down here or not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any signs as far as the weird digging out that they had done.
Okay. Well, I will relay that information.
Okay. Lyra, what are you up to?
So, I mean, oh my God, you even said his name. The one that they helped.
Which the one that you found in the
Yeah,
buried? That's Howl.
Howl. For whatever reason, my brain was only going to Hodor, and that's not right. It's not right. It's not Hodor. Um, Howl told
Hold
them
the
that his
well.
friends.
Hold the well. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
That's okay. Howl told them that his friends were this way, right? Or like last he saw them, they came from this way.
Yeah, so he got separated from them. He says he'll show you where that is. It's a little bit
Right.
further on, but yeah, he went further than they did as far as he's
Okay.
not sure where they went, but the last time he saw them, you haven't got there yet.
Was this okay, perfect. Lyra's just gonna kind of like, I mean, the area they're in is like a little open, and since they're like, there's some stairs, like sound should carry a little bit
Mm-hmm.
in this like space, especially since Dizzy has told them that there's no offshoots. So she's assuming it's just a long tunnel, which means sound should carry, meaning that she's like gonna listen for signs of other people,
Sure.
and see like if they're up ahead or if there's anything she can tell might like be ahead, even if it's not Howl's friends. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
go
just
ahead and
like,
make a perception check.
okay, Mila, I need my hand. Thank you. 1, 2, boom.
Nice. Down that tunnel, you do actually hear what sounds more like air moving, not quite wind, but you get the idea, or you get the sense that there is at least a soft current of air moving through the tunnel ahead. You're not feeling any of that, so it
Okay.
must have like some kind of exit that it's going through, not this direction. But other than that, you don't really hear any voices or other sounds.
Okay. I mean, if there's air moving through somewhere, there has to be an opening for that air to be coming in, or something's creating that wind. So she's gonna kind of like let everybody know that, like, hey, I don't know if there's an opening or something ahead, but there's air movement, and air movement means space. So maybe let's keep going.
Okay. All right.
Towards the air or away from the air?
Towards the air, obviously.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Howl will lead you on. What is the marching order? Go ahead and put yourselves behind Howl on the map, how you would like to be arranged.
We'll probably stay a little bit further up front. Not like fully up front, probably like somewhere around here. Enough
Okay.
space if anybody wants to go in front of her.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, guys, and anybody who's watching.
Oh, the sicklies. Let's see. So, Yona's gonna go up unless you don't want him in front of you, Lyra. He's walking kind of with you, but ahead of you a little bit, keeping an eye out. And Kalen is in the back, watching with his large eye as you all head deeper in. So it's a little bit of a climb. As you get through here, there's some ledges and more of those groves of mushrooms that illuminate the way. And I'm just going to grab you and move you along with him. And you come to what looks like a stairwell, maybe, or it could just be a natural formation, but there is a bit of a breeze that seems to be pushing its way up. So it comes from this tunnel that you're arcing into and pushes up this we're going to call it a stairway for sake of use, or sake of ease, but You're not totally sure if it's meant to be that or not. And what do you do? Everyone rushes forward, wanting to be first. Dizzy, what are you up to?
Does anything seem, I guess, strange or out of place?
You could do a perception or investigation, whichever you choose.
I think I'd like to join him in that.
Okay. You can either roll your own, or you can, let's just go with that. Let's go with that 25 you just rolled.
Yeah, I think that would be best.
Okay, so as you're kind of continuing on, you do notice first that Howl heads down the tunnel rather than bothering with the stairs at all. And you can hear the wind coming from the direction that he's heading. Anything weird? You do notice, Lilith, that Howl didn't even stop at the stairs or anything. He just went around the corner and is continuing on down this way. I don't know if that's weird or not. It's just something you noticed. Lyra, is there anything you're doing?
I mean, it's weird to her that he kind of seems to know where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
But she heard that air before. She wants to really she's so curious what's down there. She might as she's walking, she might kick a pebble kind of down the steps to see how far down it goes, or if it disturbs anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the steps actually go up. Sorry.
Oh, they go up. I thought they went down.
Yeah, sorry. They head up, but you could definitely chuck a pebble up to see if it or something. Your dark vision allows you to see 60 feet up, and you notice it just kind of it gets real thin through certain areas, but you can see that it goes beyond your vision. You'd have to squeeze through a couple of the areas that you can see, but it does seem to continue on.
Okay. Does she notice that Howl doesn't stop too?
What's your passive?
18.
18. You did notice that he didn't stop. Maybe not quite as we'll call it aware that he didn't bother to even look up there as both I almost said Adela, sorry, Lilith and Dizzy noticed.
Lyra, I can't believe she's about to say this. She's gonna look at Twiggy and she's gonna be like, aren't kitchens always upstairs?
I mean, not always upstairs. Sometimes they're upstairs. Depends on the nature of the kitchen and the nature of the household, really, and of course your station, and the station of your station, and the station of the kitchen, and the number of kitchens you have in the house. I mean, obviously.
But we haven't found a kitchen yet.
Is there a kitchen here?
Why wouldn't there be? Isn't it a kingdom?
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, assuming this is a house, I mean, we did see some houses back that way, which are fixer-uppers. They probably do have a communal kitchen somewhere, right? Yeah, totally. I mean, there's got to be a kitchen around here somewhere.
What do you think? And she'll look at Twiggy and she'll be like, do you think it's worth looking?
What, for a kitchen?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm probably more hungry than you are.
Do you think it's this way, or should we keep following this dude? Because they don't know Howl. She doesn't trust Howl. She doesn't trust anybody, but they are blindly playing Pied Piper right now.
Yeah.
She's just
Mhm.
And you kind of glance. So standing at the stairs, you would notice that Hal's stopped and is waiting for you all, and he's kind of picking dirt out of his ears and like shaking his clothes and stuff because you all unburied him from the hole that the centipedes had drug him into, and he's just kind of waiting.
Hey, you. Where's the kitchen?
Kitchen?
Yeah, kitchen.
I don't know of any
That's
kitchen.
I mean, that's a pretty common word in common. Kitchen. It's a place where you get food.
I mean, we have kitchens back in Paridon.
No. Those suck. Looking for something a little bit more exotic. I mean, this is kind of an exotic place in comparison to that place. The kitchen's there, though. Little lacking in salt.
I mean, there's more tunnels down this way. If maybe you think that there's, I didn't catch any odors that would say that there was a kitchen.
So you're saying there's no kitchen down that way?
I didn't smell one, but this is where, I came from, and I got separated from my friends.
Well, it's probably because you did not find where the kitchen was. That's where people congregate in a house. So if you would possibly, I don't know, go the opposite way, that you had not gone, then we would definitely be able to find not just your friends, but a sandwich.
I mean, I am rather famished. I don't know what to say. If we find a kitchen, hopefully they'll be there.
That's exactly where they'll be. Obviously, that's where people go.
When
they're hungry, they go to the kitchen.
Do you know where the kitchen would be down here?
Well, that's why we hired you.
You didn't hire me. You pulled me out of the dirt.
That's basically the same thing as hiring somebody. Do you know anything about Fey contracts? Because
No.
I'm afraid you've already signed one, my friend, in dirt and sweat.
Howell just kind of looks at all of you, lost.
Excellent. It's an accord. Let's go.
Lara can't say anything because she's the one who started this time. So she's just like, but she does have like a little smirk on her face. Like she kind of felt like causing a little bit of chaos. So she's just like,
That's right. It's your fault.
Lilith is fully okay with this too. She's just kind of like nodding,
Well,
just in solidarity.
Okay, if you're ready, then let's go. And he turns and
Excellent.
starts heading down the tunnel that he came from.
What about the stairs?
Yona, who's kind of in front with you all, looks at you all and shrugs.
Lyra will just blatantly be like, do you know what's up there?
I have no idea. Kaylin, do you know what's up this?
Oh, sorry, that was to Howl.
Oh, Howl's actually kind of walked off. He's still within your sight, but you say, do you know what's up there? And he just continues walking. He seems a little, I don't want to say afraid of the fairy, but the conversation has riled him a little.
Excellent.
Wary. He's wary of the fairy.
should
Wary of the fairy.
Exactly.
Those who aren't wary of the Fae are doomed to dance for eternity.
I feel like that should be a t-shirt. We could make a t-shirt, Wary of the Fairy, and
Wary of the Fairy.
and just have Twiggy like raging or something,
Twiggy's art on it.
right? So sorry, Yona asked Kalen if he knows. He's like, no, I've never been down this direction. I definitely know this isn't where the queen is, but otherwise it could be anything.
It'd be a kitchen where the queen is, for sure.
I mean, I do know that comparatively the queen is up from here.
I mean,
We
I'd like to know.
absolutely. I'm sorry, go ahead, Lilith.
Oh, just any kind of updates on this queen, because we don't know. We don't really totally know what we're walking into with this.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I mean, Do you have any idea why she would want to have the Jackawares out running around, running amok?
I mean, I know she doesn't really appreciate the overworlders, as she calls them. I know there's some kind of history between them, some bad history, but I don't know what it is.
Maybe
But
we should go in kind of on her side, trying to find like the real story and let her talk to us about why she doesn't like the others.
I mean that's fair. I don't. I still think we should probably bring that creature to her. Otherwise, she might be angry at us for murdering her people.
I can see that's a problem. Okay. I guess that's it. I mean, unless there's an easy way to like completely offend her, so we just don't want to do that.
Well, there's a whole laundry list of things you could do to offend a monarch. I'd list them off, but I was promised a kitchen.
Twiggy, you can no longer see Howl, but you can hear his footsteps kind of echoing down the tunnel that you're in. I'm just gonna kind of move everyone a little closer to where they would be. Whoop. So, Lyra, you can see that Howl has come to I don't want to say the end of your dark vision, but he steps out of the line of your sight. There's the wall. Apparently he's turned a corner.
Okay, well, they have to decide whether to continue following this man or go up the stairs. And, Kaylin kind of said the queen is up, but they can't go see the queen empty-handed. They've already decided this, and they still haven't found this creature thing. So Lyra will just kind of sigh and be like, well, and she'll just under her breath, she'll go, marching we will go, marching we will go. And she'll just like follow along, and she hates it, but like she doesn't really know what else to do.
Okay. Everyone else following, or does anyone have anything they want to do with the stairwell?
Curious about the stairwell.
Sorry, Mick. Go
I
ahead.
think I'll just take a look up and
Okay.
see if there's anything.
I think I'd like to join Mick on that.
So like as the two of you glance up, it's difficult for Lilith to see very far. Like you have the dark vision, but it's only 30 feet, and then Dizzy's is 60 feet. So what you both notice is that for that first 30 feet, it's about as wide as a person to walk through, but nearing the end of that 30 feet, you do notice it starts to kind of close in, and Dizzy can see that it gets kind of to a point where you look like you'd have to squeeze through, but then it kind of opens up a bit longer or a bit wider and continues on. You don't see any signs of people, and actually I will say that Lyra, you also would notice that the whole thing isn't necessarily carved out to be stairs. There are some smoother areas that look more like a ramp that goes down. It might be natural. It would be not difficult to traverse, but it would take greater care to go up it than just walking upstairs.
No one needs those stairs.
Yeah.
Smells weird up there anyway.
Smells weird as in like, sandwich weird or like exotic sauce?
No, nothing yummy.
Wow.
And if Twiggy wants to go up there.
I mean,
You were always
good.
welcome to
Alright.
split the party. I'm just saying.
Split the party. Yeah, I can't see in the dark because the sun never sets in the Feywild. We don't have any need to see in the dark. We don't do that. No. beings of magical light, you know? Like,
I mean, you do
darkness,
have very
but
tiny torches.
very cute little tiny torches, yes. But it is probably unwise. Besides, you know, like, if they find the kitchen before I do, I'm gonna be very cross.
Okay. Everyone following Howl then?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll just
Oh,
move.
except Dizzy wanted to go up the stairs. Are we splitting up Dizzy for a while?
I mean, do you want to come with, or?
I don't totally want to split up the party,
But we can
but
come back later then. I'm just curious why Hal
Split
just
the party.
ignored
up
the
30.
stairs.
Yeah.
I want to stick with the party. But from now on, I want to leave like crumbs, like little hints of where we go for Dizzy if you decide to split up.
I mean, I won't lie. If Lyra sees Dizzy kind of start up the stairs, she will full on turn around and go back and go with him. Like, she'll be
Let's
like,
do it
whoa,
then.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Dizzy's going up the stairs.
What do you think of Dizzy?
Yeah, I'll go up the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lyra will literally just like duck a little bit so Twiggy can fly over her and then like go back to Dizzy and
Okay.
be like, are we going? Like she's very chaotic right now, so she's just like,
Yeah.
are we going? She's back in control of her body, so she feels fearless. Which is a mistake, but you know.
Lilith will go too if she's seeing that everybody is going. As long as we stay together, that's what Lilith wants.
I mean, Lyra doesn't care. Lyra's like, split the party. Don't care.
I can't see in the dark, so I'm going wherever the light source is.
So, Twiggy, as you're flittering up, you notice that Yona has pulled out a torch and lights it and kind of holds it up and is looking down. And as you flit up that direction, you notice that there is a large chasm that the air seems to be flowing out of and down the tunnel that you just came from. You can see the torch like whips pretty violently in the wind. It's not super fast, but enough to cause the flame from the torch to dance around.
Well, last time we went down a chasm. Where was that? In the house? It was in the house, right? We
Yes,
were
it
in a
was-
house.
it
Oh,
was
at the
in the
very
house.
beginning? Yeah, you went into the
Yeah,
chasm,
there
yeah.
was a chasm down there, and then we got burped out. Is that where the rock was? In that
Yes.
chasm?
Yes, the large amber rock. Yep,
Was in that chasm.
it was.
And there were hands or something in the chasm?
I'm sorry, there were what?
Hands? Arms?
Hands. I don't remember
Hands.
that part.
Ugh. Memory's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, that's been a bit.
Well, there might be
22 episodes or so ago.
there might be another rock down there. And if the chasm is there, the kitchen was above the chasm, which means that up the stairs actually is the direction we should go anyway. Because that's how buildings are done here. I think, are in a building.
Oh, and you
Right.
can also see at the edge of Yona's torchlight, Howl has come back into this room with the chasm. He's like, "Are you all coming? I thought you were going to help me find my friends.
They're at the kitchen. That's upstairs.
Are you going back up those stairs? There's nothing up there. It's just a chute. I think it's natural."
Stairs
Where,
are not
though?
natural.
Hold. Oh no, Howl didn't hear her. Never mind. I was like,
Yeah, so
I
right
thought
now the
you
only
said-
people that can see or hear Howl are Yona and Twiggy.
fair. Fair.
You do hear a bit of conversation that the wind is blowing your direction, but you can't quite make out what they're saying. Actually, I will give Lyra a perception check to see if you can hear it because of your dagger. But otherwise, it's a little muffled by the wind. It just kind of, it's carrying the sound, but not the meaning. Yeah, you can hear this conversation. So depending on if you want to head down to speak with them or not is up to you. But you can hear that there is a conversation going on.
Lara doesn't care because also my out of character brain remembered that Howl didn't hear her question earlier. So I was going to be like, I thought he said there was nothing up there. How does he know there's nothing up there? But I was like, wait a second. He didn't hear her before.
Right. All right. So, Twiggy, what do you say?
Stairs are super not natural. Also, that's where kitchens are. They're above chutes. The chute is there, which is where the rock is, which means the kitchen is up there. And last time there were lobster rolls, and I'm telling you, kitchen is where the home is. No, hearth in the kitchen. There's some saying in common, and I can't remember exactly what it is. It's very complicated. But something about kitchens, and that's where people go. And I'm hungry, so let's go.
Do you turn around and go off?
Well, that's where they're going.
Okay. You don't see Yona look at Howl, shrug, and follow after you. But the light does follow you. I will snag you to move you back up here. While that's happening, what are you all doing back at the staircase?
And Lilith is just going to continue to look at the staircase and kind of study all around it and see if there's anything.
Oh, I mean, Lyra definitely looked at Dizzy and was like, are we going? And like half waited for an answer before like kind of moving along with Dizzy, but it's one person wide, right?
It is about one person wide, yeah. There's like certain areas where you could stand side by side going down it, but for the most part it's one person's wide.
Okay.
So of the two of you, who's going first? Or is it one of those awkward situations where you're both trying to walk through the door at the same time?
I can go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to place you there, and then Lyra's following after?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, Lilith, what are you doing?
I'm going to be right behind them. I guess just looking around, see if there's any writings. I'm going to kind of touch the wall, see if there's something hidden in the wall that nobody would pick up.
Sure. Why don't you make a perception check?
Hey.
You don't notice anything. Like, this is definitely a more solid rock than the churned earth where the centipedes were. But most of this tunnel has been that. There's a certain area back at the bottom of the chute that was a little bit of that softer earth. But this is definitely it's all this very solid stone, and you don't find any like writing or any kind of markings or hidden things.
I'll continue on, still with my glow over everybody. And I think I'll mutter a little bit to my my god, just kind of like letting them know that I'm thankful for the group that we're in and to help guide us just as we're going under my breath.
Totally fair. Twiggy, you do hear some quicker footsteps coming from behind you as Howl catches up, and he's like, there's nothing that way. We should go. Where are you going? Don't you want to help? There's no kitchen up there. I said it's just a chute. It's just a natural thing.
When were you up there?
When I was looking for my friends that disappeared. Where are you all going?
To where your friends are. Obviously,
my friends are not up there. Trust me, I looked.
When was the last time you looked?
Right before the centipedes grabbed me and stuffed me in their dark, dirty hole.
Well, I mean, what else was up there?
It just runs. It's I can't think of the word for it, but there's like chutes that run out of the stone There's nothing up there.
Up at the very top of the stairs, it just stops.
No, I mean, you could see the sky from the top.
The sky?
That's the thing that goes above the world?
No. So the stairs go to the sky.
Yes.
So
That high.
like to the sky as in like in the sky, or like to the ground below
No, on
the
the
sky?
side of,
And it's like
it's on the side of the hill. Where are you from that you don't understand how these things work?
Clearly not from here. Also, we don't have mole people, all right? We don't have mole people.
Mole people?
Mole people, people who are moles.
What?
Yeah.
What if Twiggy was able to fly up the chute and have a rope for us all to climb out that way? Would that be a safe way for us to get out?
Wouldn't they have already then like gone up the hole? Wait.
I definitely didn't
Maybe that's
see
what the
any
issue is.
ropes. There wasn't anything. There was no sign of anyone going that way.
So you're describing a chimney.
Chimney. Maybe that's what it's called.
Can Lyra do an insight check? Because she feels like Howl is very adamant that they don't go this way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're heading up the stairs. You can't see the conversation, but again, you can hear it because it's actually blowing your
Right.
direction.
Right.
I'll give you an insight at disadvantage since you can't see
Okay.
them.
Okay.
That's a good roll. Let's see if you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
The conversation you hear coming from that direction, everyone can hear this because it's, even though some of you are in the stairwell and heading up, the wind is carrying the conversation your direction. But you're not catching anything. He just seems fairly worried about his friends and adamant that they're not that direction.
Okay. Well, Lyra's not here to help him find his friends. Lyra's here to find a creature. So she's just like, okay, you can go find your friends. No, she doesn't know how everybody else feels, but Lyra's here for one reason and one reason only, and she's not a terribly helpful person on the best of days. So.
Fair enough. All right, so you're gonna head up everyone's heading up the stairs. Is that correct? Okay. So you all head up. Dizzy's heading first, then Lyra, then Lilith. Twiggy, are you going right after Lilith?
Let me take a look at the map again. How far back am I? I'm not hugely far behind. I'll probably be going at half pace, arguing with Howl.
Sooner or later he's gonna stop arguing because he knows he's lost.
Yeah, you signed a contract. Verbal, signed in dirt and sweat. It lasts for longer than you live. Very sorry you have a mortal body. Great. Now that that's settled, let's go.
So I'm gonna need just a minute. And hello everybody, welcome back. Sorry for the quick break. So as you all head up the stairs, let's have Dizzy make a perception check. And actually, nice. Also, Twiggy make a perception check.
Perceiving. See if I got this thing fixed. Going to go do the boop. Did it do the boop?
I don't see the. Oh, there it is. There's the boop. Just waiting for the numbers.
What?
Nice.
I did print on my end.
So as the group continues on, Dizzy, you're keeping an eye out, and there are definitely some difficult terrain areas where you're like kind of having to hold the side of the walls and make sure you don't slip, but it just kind of slows you down as opposed to really being a hazard. Up ahead, you do see some glowing of those mushrooms, just kind of random patches. They're not really so much the large groves that you saw previously, and they're not lighting the area nearly as well. Twiggy, you can see because Yona is wielding a torch currently, and so whatever light you can see from their perspective. Actually, I think I forgot to turn on dynamic lighting. Let me click that on, and that might help you see. Does that help?
Yep, I can see less now.
Okay. All right. So, other than that, Dizzy, you do notice. Let's see. What do you notice? Sorry, I need to see how far away you are. As you continue on, you see a fairly bright patch of those mushrooms. And in the light, it's beyond your dark vision, but in the faint glow that they put off, you do notice that the tunnel up ahead, one, it evens out. It's less of a climb, not completely flat, but it's definitely easier. But you also notice that the tunnel splits. It's quite a ways off still, about 70 feet. You did hear the conversation from earlier that Harlow told you that this is just a chute and it doesn't go anywhere.
So he lied.
There's definitely, I mean, you can't see what's in the direction that the split goes, but there's more than just this chute for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. Wrong. How far do you want to go?
I'll go to the split.
Okay. Is everyone following pretty closely?
Sure. Well, I'm going, I guess, at the rate that Lilith's going.
Okay.
As I will have taken a spot on the shoulder while lecturing Howl about contracts.
I am making an executive choice that Lilith is keeping up with the group while Adela is away. So Dizzy, you continue up. Actually, I'll just snag everyone and move them that direction. Yoink. You continue that direction, and as you get there, you notice there's a good amount of light from different clusters of mushrooms. There's a tunnel that goes to your left and a tunnel that goes to your right. From where you are right now, you can't see where they go. If you step in just a little bit more, you'll be able to.
Okay, I'll step in.
Okay. As you step in and look, you notice that the tunnel to the left it ends, and it's pretty well lit, and you can actually see a small body of water, just like looks like a puddle, but it's right up against the wall, and you don't see floor. Like, it's not the color of it doesn't look like it's just a puddle on the ground. It looks more like a hole in the ground that is filled with water.
Okay. So Lair, do you think we should check out the dead end, or should we go the other way?
Obviously, we go the other way.
Larry, you're muted.
Of course I'm muted. Of course I'm muted. Yeah, yeah. That was the end of my last thing. I forgot to save you all from my coughs.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Lyra actually was gonna say the opposite of Lilith because Lyra is gonna like, especially if Lily says that out loud, like she's gonna like look at them both with like a look of disbelief because when is she never not about the water? Like she purposely like went to the river to walk in the water when they first got there. She like always skirts towards the water and she's always about the water. And like if Dizzy kind of explains what that pool looks like, she's gonna be like, that sounds weird and interesting. Let's go look at that thing.
Let's do that then.
All right. So you're going to head off this direction?
Mm-hmm.
At least Lyra and Dizzy are.
Okay.
I don't know what Lilith and Twiggy and Yona and Kaylin and the rest of
I
them
mean,
are.
I'll still join. I'm about keeping the party together,
Okay.
so I'd like to join.
And are you staying pretty close?
Yes, yes.
I'll put you there. Twiggy, what are you up to?
Going through subclass 37F-Z on the contract that your man has verbally signed, with of course his sweat and his dirt, while simultaneously amending to include kitchen contracts because those are very important, and I can't believe I overlooked those, with concessions of course to his basic needs, because he's going to need you obviously to also use the kitchen. It's not just for me.
So importantly, are you reciting these things while near the group, or are you hovering in the tunnel?
Oh, wherever Lil. Well, I'll hover the tunnel. You know, I'll have stopped to lecture.
Okay. As you stop, you notice all right, who's emanating light? Anyone? Okay. You notice that both Harlow and Kaylin are not behind Yona.
Howl and the other one have gone.
Yep, you don't see Kaylin and you don't see Howl. But Yona, who's like standing there, looking at you with the torch in his hand, he has this very make an insight check.
Very insightful, actually. Probably my strongest skill is insight.
He has this very interested look on his face. Like what you were saying is just so amazing. Like he's so glad that you're talking about it.
I mean, everyone should be. I mean, you're welcome, first of all, for the taste of my culture, and second of all, this lesson, because not everybody gets a full like breakdown on how these things work. Also, where's your pops? Your pops is your dad, right?
My dad? No, he's back at the camp. What are you talking about?
The guy with the eye.
Oh, Kaylin. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Kaylin? Kaylin! The rest of you hear Yona calling for Kaylin, as you are pretty much arriving right where you are here. What do you do?
And of course, they're just going to run off, right? They're supposed to help us. They're taking off. Like, what next?
I'm gonna investigate the water.
Okay. Lyra, are you also heading up to the water? You can nod. Okay.
I'd like to go with them as well and investigate.
Okay. Why don't you do a group investigation check here in this room? The three of you, not Twiggy. All the good rolls dumped on the investigation. I like it. Yeah, so the water sparkles. It's actually kind of a very clean turquoisey color, very clear water that goes down several feet. You can see some of those mushrooms down at the bottom that seem to be growing, and it illuminates the water slightly. There is a sparkle at the bottom that does not seem natural. It looks like a reflection off of something.
Lara wants it. It's shiny.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry. Lyra wants it. It's shiny.
Can you do anything to get it besides getting the water, or do you want to just jump in?
I mean, she might do something a little out of the box. She doesn't know if it's gonna work. But I mean, Twiggy might be able to hear her, he might not. But she's gonna like speak it, like she's half water genasi, right? Like she's just gonna kind of like speak to the water in Sylvan, right? To just kind of be like, hey, can you help us out? We've been stuck down here. Maybe whatever's at the bottom of your well can give us a hand. You know, we'd really appreciate it. And she's just kind of talking to water, which to Twiggy might be normal, but she's just kind of talking to it because, like, she can't magically at this point in her life do anything to it. It's just sometimes water does what she wants it to, and sometimes it doesn't.
Why don't you make a persuasion check to see if you can persuade it to do what you are asking?
Okay.
Nice. So the three of you watching down the well, you do notice that the shine, the reflection moves a bit, and it kind of jerks upward, but then gets caught. It looks like there's some kind of something in the silt on the bottom that it is stuck to. But it did seem to try and lift up for a moment there.
Like a chain, as if it's being like held captive in the water.
It does look, it's kind of, because it's about 7 to 10 feet down, and even though the water is pretty clear, as it begins moving, there's like some silt that kind of stirs up, and it's kind of difficult to see, but it does look like there is an object, maybe some kind of amulet, that is trying to rise up, and it is on something that is, it's really hard to see what it is that's stuck to something under the silt.
Is it like far enough down that, say, because Lilith has long hands, she could like get it for Lyra, like reach in?
You'd have to get in
it.
the water. Yeah, you'd have to like actually go down, because like even though you are very tall, like your arms aren't 10 feet long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Lyra, do you want to go in and get it?
I mean, Lyra will. If nobody's gonna talk her out of it, like she's probably already like taken off her boots. Like she's like, that thing is mine.
Okay. Well, while Lyra is prepping, unless Dizzy needs to do anything, or are you watching? What is Dizzy doing?
Is there any way that I can help, or is there no need for assistance?
I mean, you can. I won't say it's necessarily a preparing an action, but you can essentially like be on the ready that if Lyra runs into trouble, you can help in some way.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So while that's going on, Twiggy, Yona seems to be getting concerned as Kaelin is not responding, and he ends up, taking a few steps back down that direction. It begins to, the tunnel you came up begins to drop off a bit more into that incline or decline from where you are. And he's looking down it with his torch held high. Kaelin! Kaelin, where are you? What do you
I
do?
would go pee, you know, like, I mean, if it was me, I would have just, like, peed down the ramp, because that would have been, like, way more fun than
Yeah,
just
but
going
where
back
is
down the ramp.
where's the other fellow? Howl.
Well, maybe he had to pee, too.
Maybe.
I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how that works for you guys, but
I mean, Kaelin isn't typically the kind that wants to go pee with other fellows, but I mean, I suppose I don't know. Kaelin, Howl.
maybe they went on a walk. Maybe they found the kitchen.
Maybe. Tell your friends I need to go find Kaelin.
Okay.
And he begins to head down, like you can see him, carefully trying to hold the wall and the torch, and as he's slowly trying to descend this incline. Seems like a little rougher going down, like the motion makes the slipperiness of some of the areas harder for him to move down, but he does end up disappearing from your sight, and you can kind of see the mote of his torch in the distance until it disappears around a corner.
It's going to be a couple of seconds that pass before he realizes he cannot see in the dark.
There is a patch of mushrooms, so essentially if you were with him, you're there. There's light behind you, but there's no light ahead of you.
I guess I'll sit on the mushrooms and wait, that way I
Would
keep
he be able to see any of my glow, like right at the crux of the crux of the...
There's a lot of glow coming from the direction that you all went, so this entire end is glowing from the mushrooms. It's just the way you came from, he can't see down. As far as your glow, there is a little bit of purplish glow mixing in with the kind of tealish of this light.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit with these mushrooms, have a chat with the lads, because I haven't had a good mushroom chat in a while, and sprinkle everything with a hearty dusting of glitter, get a little bit extra texture to the light, a little disco ball action.
Yeah, as your glitter drifts down from your wings, there's like these small little, they're very hard to see, they're not like bright beams of light, but there's like little disco reflections that go off onto the walls. Meanwhile, so you are all waiting for Lyra to jump into the water, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Lyra, are you ready to jump in the water?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
All right. I mean, she probably will just because it's not a very wide pool, right? There's not actually a lot of space.
Right.
So she'll probably slip in on. Now, you said it goes down a fair bit, but not too much.
You think that area is around 10 feet deep where the amulet seems to be.
Okay. So she's just gonna kind of slip in over the edge, kind of as one casually slides into a pool, and then she's just gonna kind of do that thing where you go up down, just dive and reach, because it's shiny, right? So she's just gonna but before she does, she's gonna because she doesn't want to open her eyes in this water, because who knows what's there are these
Gotcha.
mushrooms in it, right? So she's gonna kind of to the water, just kind of be help, right? To see if it will kind of reach it towards her a little bit. I mean, it's only 10 feet deep. It's not that deep. She can easily dive that in her head, right?
Yeah.
Whether the dice gods believe her or not, that's a different story. But
You did notice actually that before you dove in and you looked, the amulet was kind of floating.
right.
And it seems to be made out of metal, and so you feel like whatever help the water can give you, it's doing. And so as you
to keep it up.
right,
Yeah.
so as you get in and then go and go down and close your eyes, just do a Do a perception, just a straight roll, because your
His eyes are closed.
your advantage is going to cancel out the disadvantage of trying to grab it without seeing it. Nice. Yeah. So you had an idea where it was. You grab it. There's a definitely something, a chain, like a thin chain that is holding the amulet, and that chain is stuck on something.
Okay, she's gonna try to like slide it off of like whatever it's stuck on
Okay.
a little bit.
And you're
And
keeping
she
your
doesn't
eyes
want to.
closed.
She doesn't want to. Yeah, she doesn't want to. I mean, she's gonna use her hands, and she doesn't want to break it. So she's trying to use like both of her hands, like pedaling her feet to, as you do when you dive for something in a pool, right?
So
She's
as
trying
you
to like use her hands to try to slide it off without breaking the chain. If she has to break the chain, she will.
okay.
Okay.
So as you like try and slip it off, like you reach down, you're looking for the base of it, and you feel these kind of knobby protrusions that it's stuck on, and it seems like there is a collection of these in a line of these protrusions. They're mostly hard, but every so often you kind of feel something squishy on.
Is this something she would have felt before?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, can she get the chain? Ow, ow, ow. Sorry, catnaps.
So as you
Alright.
kind of like fiddle with it, do you want to try and remove it left or right along this form that you can't see?
I mean, does it feel like one end, because she's kind of like feeling it, does it feel like one end's like more narrow than another? Does it feel like there's like anything in her way, like any other offshoot? Like, I mean, she doesn't try to like immediately do it. She kind of like feels around and sees like what way might go better.
Okay. So as you feel around, you kind of have to dig through the silt a little bit. And so those of you watching from above, only a few seconds have gone by, but you notice that the water's getting murkier, and there's kind of a sloshing because of Lyra's movement. You're starting to lose sight of her, not because she's out of the line of sight of your dark vision, but more because she's being obscured by this silt. But Lyra, you notice that on one end is kind of a bulbous growth. Like it feels fairly smooth. It does have some ragged patches on it. And then the other direction kind of it tees off. There's something that it hits. It feels like the kind of column that you're holding onto continues going, but there's something else that kind of tees off from it.
Okay, well, she's gonna go towards the bulbous end then.
Okay. Just make a sleight of hand check for me.
Sure.
Nice. So going that way, it seems like you freed that object, and you can slip the chain out from around it.
Okay, yeah. She wants the chain. She wants the amulet, and then she's gonna go back up. She
Okay.
doesn't really care what it was attached to. She's just like, I'm out.
Okay. So you all, Lilith and Dizzy, you watch as Lyra re-emerges from this silty water, chain and amulet in hand. You can see that it is a silverish chain and amulet both. It looks roundish. We'll say oblong just slightly, like it's wider than it is tall, but it's mostly circulish, and it has a pair of wings stamped onto it or carved out of it. You're not totally sure, with a green and red jewel in the center.
Has Lilith ever seen it before? She's
She
gonna
has
study
not.
it.
It doesn't look like a familiar insignia or anything. And Dizzy, as far as helping Lyra, you could help her get out of the pool.
Yeah, Lyra probably like
Yeah,
puts the
I'll
amulet
do
down or
that.
something, or like, tries to haul herself out, like, to get out. She's
Yeah,
soaking
I'll
wet.
help Lyra out.
Okay. So the three of you are now out of the pool, and Lyra, you have this chain in your hand, and Lilith is kind of eyeing it, trying to, like look at it as it's spinning around. It doesn't look much different than that, although you do notice there is an inscription on the back.
Okay, well, she's gonna kind of like stop it from well. She'll honestly probably hand it to Dizzy for a second. She says, "I want that back." She's gonna hand it to Dizzy and like wring out her hair, like do all this stuff and like let them study it while she kind of like, takes care of being soaking wet for just a second.
Totally fair.
I will hold it.
Okay.
So and she'll probably like kind of like say like look, figure out what that is. Like she's like, look at that. Like I don't know, like let them study it. She's busy drying off.
What do you do with it, Dizzy?
Can I inspect it?
Sure. It has the motif, the wing motif with the gem on the one side. On the other, it has an engraving in a language you don't understand. Actually, I would say that it's even less of a language and more of a set of symbols that don't reflect letters as much as they do figures.
Mm-hmm.
As you're kind of watching it, you're pretty sure that's a bird. That might be some kind of boot, or maybe you think it's a boot or something. This next one looks like a fire, maybe like a fire symbol, and then it ends.
Okay. And I wouldn't be able to figure out any of this.
It doesn't really look like something you've seen before.
Okay. Okay, I'll just hold on to it.
Okay. Liv, what are you up to?
I mean, I'd like to look at it as well, but is there any way that I can discern what those symbols mean?
It's not something that you would have encountered before. As far as having a meaning, it looks like bird boot fire.
Take a drink of that water over there while we're waiting.
Okay. It's actually salty. It's salty water, and it's fairly warm.
Okay. So not a big drink.
Yeah, you go to take a sip and you're just like, because it's it tastes like seawater. Meanwhile, sitting back on the mushrooms, what are you doing, Twiggy?
He's enjoying the light show, as no matter how dim it is. He's probably briefly forgotten what's been going on with the people going downstairs and the people who've gone around the corner. Just having a nice little moment with these mushrooms and just kind of enjoying this little bit of peace and quiet. He's gonna probably munch on one of them. Maybe have a little dance party.
About 5 steps into your dance party. Make a perception check for me.
Perceiving.
A thing that Twiggy's best at.
Super good at it.
Soup's good.
Pays attention.
There's a noise carried on the wind that's kind of blowing up the tunnel. But it was there and gone so fast that it the music in your head kind of overrode what any understanding of what the noise was. But you heard something.
How bright are these mushrooms?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How bright are these mushrooms?
Oh, they offer dim light for 10 feet from the edge of where they stop.
Do they cease to glow after they've been plucked?
They glow for about a minute.
Grab a little handful of these things.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. We're coughing.
Hold on, one quick. Just,
While you're looking, I have to say the cutest thing that I've seen since I think it was right around COVID or right before COVID started. Went to the doctor and they had a thing that don't sneeze into your hands because you're going to spread the germs, but it was for kids, and so it was like all these cute little figurines, and like to teach people how to cough like this. They were like, they had a vampire. He's like, I just thought it was so adorable that every time I see somebody, I'm like, blah blah blah. All right, you're rolling intelligence saves, and I'm curious why. Why are you rolling? Tell me what's going on.
There's not often sounds, and it's probably them coming back. Kind of grab a handful of those things and float over to the edge of the stairs and kind of look down.
Okay. You look down. You see about 10 feet using the stems that you plucked, and beyond that, you don't really see anything.
No torchlight.
Yeah, there's no motes of fire in the distance. No torchlight approaching you.
What was the full distance of the stairs that we traveled?
You're not totally sure. It seemed a ways, and their dark vision couldn't go the entire distance, so it was definitely over 60 feet.
Probably still peeing. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go back to my my dance party. Over there with those mushrooms.
Oh, so you go back to the mushrooms? Okay.
Yeah, I got my little like sticks and I'm just gonna, play with those for about a minute until they go out, and then
Meow.
pick some new ones.
Okay. Do you keep picking them until the grove is gone?
How long would that probably? Well, we'll see. He'll
Couple
probably get
minutes.
bored doing that. Yeah, he'll probably get bored with that at some point. But for now, yeah, he'll just keep doing that for a bit.
Okay. So about this time, you're all standing around the pool. Lyra has... It's funny because you go to like squeeze the water out of your hair, and it's more like it's already pushing itself off and hits the ground and kind of rolls back into the pond.
Oh, she's gonna hold her hand out for the amulet from Dizzy because she specifically said was like, I want that back. So
I'll give it back to Lyra.
perfect. She's gonna. Sorry, my cat is being everywhere right now. She is gonna take a look at it herself because she didn't really look at it that closely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, water in her eyes, everything like that. She's kind of like, here, hold this. So she's gonna take a look at it herself, assuming that she can't recognize anything on it either.
That is correct. Yeah, it's
Okay.
It still looks like wings. Those are obvious. The jewel in the center.
Perfect.
The jewel's actually weird. None of you have really seen this jewel quite like this. It's multicolored, almost like glass that you might have seen that is crushed and put together or something like that, or melted together. This jewel seems to be, if it's not the same type of mineral, I guess would be the word, then it's been, like fused together.
Okay.
And on the back it says bird boot fire.
Yeah, bird boot fire.
Or maybe bird boot flame.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. She's gonna hold on to it, and when they reunite with Twiggy, she's gonna show it to him. Maybe he'll have some knowledge of the ancient language, which he always seems to have.
Guess what? I totally missed it the first time, but because she's still doing it,
Oh.
time for some fickle fate.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead and roll any die for me.
Any die.
Any die.
I did die.
I want. Come on. Let's see.
The choices of dice.
I know, right? I'm just like, well, what am I gonna do? I want, you know what? 3d12 sounds nice.
All right. So, as you're standing there, Dizzy, make me a perception check.
Oh boy.
You're kind of eyeing this amulet that has now passed between the three of you, just trying to like rack your memory whether or not there's anything that you can think of that it, you know, reminds you of or whatever. And you notice that the water is churning a little bit. And you look down and you notice that there, emerging from the silt, is a badly decomposed body. Mostly bones, some bits of swollen flesh and hair kind of dangling off, and it's reaching up and trying, it almost looks like it's trying to swim up. It's weird because you can see the water also kind of doing this, not a swell, but almost like it's pushing down on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the water's losing comparatively. Why don't we with the time we have left, it's actually a great place to stop.
How that looks.
Right? I'm just like, can we do this in 9 minutes? Probably not. So we'll end there. Does anyone have any questions? I will say, if you're watching this live, it's Wednesday, which means tomorrow, Adela will be joining me again on this channel tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. our time, so 8:30 p.m. Eastern, for an overabundant high harvest tide. I have the hardest time saying that, which is our I don't want to call it a Thanksgiving game because it's not really a Thanksgiving game, but it's a thankful harvest feast game here on this channel. We'll be joined by some other folks. Kevin from Game Night, something. I can't remember his channel. Game Night Heroes is going to be joining us, as well as Adela's SO. Matt, who else is coming on with us? I forgot.
Ramos. Gilbert.
Oh, that's right. Gilbert will be here.
Gilbert.
Gilbert has been on this show
Gilbert.
before and will be joining us for tomorrow night's game. So joining us 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night. If you are not watching this live, then that game has already played. If you're watching this on YouTube, and so that game will be up on YouTube shortly. I hope everyone has a great week. Ideally, we'll see you next week, the day before Thanksgiving. So I hope we can all play, and I guess we'll find out. I think that's it. Everyone have a great week. We will see you next time. Bye.